Welcome back, Global War 1939. We're about to start this game. Of course, round one, Germany goes first. So we're going to implement our Blitzkrieg ability, which is basically 2 turns back to back, 1 purchase. So we can only buy on between the first and second impulses. So we have to be very careful where we position our units at the end of the second impulse as to not give openings for the British or whoever to counterattack us. That is pretty important, I would have to say. But other than that, we're going to do our initial assault. We're going to clean up most of mainland Europe. So basically, we're going to declare war right now on Poland. Because of that, the British and the French are going to declare war on us. Now, they're declaring war on us. We're not the aggressors. Okay? We're only declaring war on Poland. Now, because of their involvement, now we need to free up our borders. Secure our borders even more and to ensure our own safety. So then we're going to also declare war on Holland, Denmark, Norway, and Yugoslavia. And then we're going to start allying our allies, minor allies anyways. And then the Italians won't join until the beginning of their turn. So by doing this, we'll clean up all of our enemies on mainland Europe, activate our allies, and get even more soldiers on the map, more production. Our goal, so the maximum amount of money that we can accumulate for round 2 is $99. Going under this strategy, that's the absolute most we can get. Our goal is to get anything above 90. That's including $20 that we're going to hopefully steal off the French by taking out Paris. So that's the goal. Anything below 90, it would be considered a fail. So here we go. So for our purchase, there has been an update to the setups and when units become unlocked. Normally, the advanced infantry for the Germans, you can't purchase until turn 2. But now with the newest update, which happened the 4th of August, a few days ago, their advanced infantry you can purchase right away. So we're going to take advantage of that. We're going to change up our build queue slightly from our previous games. We do have $52 to spend. We're going to save $1, spend $51. We're going to get 3 medium tanks for 6 each, 2 tank destroyers, again, for 6 each. The tank destroyers are pretty decent. They have a higher attack value than the medium tanks, but a lower defense value. So my thinking is I'd rather the higher attack. Defense is not really in our mindset until, round 4. That's when we really are worried about defending up until that point where it's all-out attack. So that's the reason for these. Heavy artillery for 6, normal artillery for 4, a mech for 4, airborne, which would be our third one. We're only allowed to have 3 for 4, and then our advanced infantry for 3. So that's 51 total. We're good to go. All right. Now for our initial attacks, let's take a look. So, we spent our 51. Put that aside. And then we'll worry about our purchase between impulses. So, impulse 1, we are going into Holland. Right now, Holland has 3 infantry and an artillery. And by taking out the capital of Holland, then the other Dutch territories in the Pacific, they'll immediately go pro-Allied. So then FEC, Anzac, they can start capturing, not really capturing, but activating those territories to align the Dutch Navy, the Dutch infantry, and of course the income to the Allies. We are going in with 1 bomber. We'll take the bomber from Berlin. Can move over 2 spaces. 2 infantry, so that has to come from Western Germany, as it got nowhere else to go, or nowhere else to attack from. 3 mechs, so we'll take mech from Berlin, West Germany, and Bavaria. and one veteran fighter. And we'll take the veteran fighter from Berlin as well. All right, in the battle in Reims, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 French infantry, an artillery tank. Now, the worst part about Reims, I'm not really afraid of their army. It's this damn fort. This darn fort really causes us problems. So we need 7 infantry. We're going to take 4 from Bavaria. And then the other 3 will come from Western Germany. We'll purposely leave a guy behind. All right. 3 cavalry from Berlin. Light tanks from Berlin. Medium tank, and we'll take that from Stettin. Medium bomber, again from Berlin. 2 veteran fighters and 3 tacticals. So veteran fighter from Bavaria, Western Germany. Tactical from the same places. And then tactical from Berlin. This should be good to go. All right. Now, we're also going to attack Oslo. And we have air transport in Western Berlin. Our airborne are both in Berlin. Or, sorry, Western Germany, we have air transport. And then in Berlin, we have 2 airborne and an air transport. So this air transport in Western Germany has moved into 6 because of the air base. Normally has 5. So it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it's going to land in Western Germany. And in fact, all of our planes, they'll all muster in Western Germany after all their attacks. So they're going to go into Oslo. The transport in C-Zone 18 is going to pick up an artillery and an infantry. We'll get the infantry from Western Germany. Their artillery we'll get from Stettin. Man, making a mess. And that's going to come over to C-Zone 17, offload the infantry artillery into Oslo. But before that, we need to clear out the C-Zone. So we have the sub in 16. They'll move up to 17. There's 2 destroyers. There's Denmark destroyer and British destroyer. The battleship, 2 destroyers, cruiser, 2 more subs, and 2 coastal subs. So they'll all move in the 17 along with the transport. So then the battleship and the cruiser are going to not engage in the naval combat. They're in fact going to bombard into Oslo and hopefully knock out that infantry that's in Oslo. And then the rest of the Navy will take out the 2 destroyers. Now, the fort that is in Oslo, this is a directional fort, is not encompassing the entire territory, meaning that it's on the coastline. So only the infantry artillery is going to be affected by the fort, and the 2 paratroopers will not get the -1. And then the 2 dice you get from the fort can only hit the infantry artillery, but the infantry can hit all 4 units. So that's Oslo. That's the naval battle. And now Western Poland, 2 artillery, fighter, and we have a bunch of infantry here. What do we got? 5 infantry. But luckily, no fort, no AA gun, none of that nonsense. All right, so we need 5 infantry. So 3 from Ebling, 1 from Stettin. Yes. And then we'll take 1 guy from Czechoslovakia. All right, so that's our 5 infantry. 1 artillery that we have left over. 4 mechs. So that's Stettin, Ebling, and then 2 from Czechoslovakia. 3 medium tanks, so 2 from Ebling, 1 from Stettin. I don't know if we need that many. Yeah, let's put 1 tank back. I want to check something out. Sorry, just we're going to take the other infantry from Stettin for the 5th one, and leave the guy in Czechoslovakia. I forgot I got to do something else with him. And then we'll take in our 4 planes. So we still got 5 infantry. And the one in Czechoslovakia, he'll do the non-combat into Hungary. All right, so that's all of our attacks. Now, the way we got these calculated out is that I always use before I plan out the attack, I'll figure out what I'm bringing, add up all their pips, and then divide it by 12, and that should give me a reasonable expectation of how many hits I'll get in the first round and how many rounds will go on to. So the Holland battle, we're expecting 2 rounds of combat. Reims, 1 round. Oslo, 1 round. And Western Poland, we're expecting 2 rounds of combat. Just based off what we're bringing into each battle. And then the rest will be non-combat. As of right now, we still got infantry in Berlin. We got our 2 tanks at Stettin. Austria, we didn't use those forces. And Czechoslovakia, we still got their mech and 4 infantry. And then in the Atlantic here, we're going to bring in all of our subs in the 23. Now, I already talked to Naruto, and he said he wants to scramble, unfortunately. So I'm assuming he's going to want max scramble, which then he's allowed to scramble 2 out of Liverpool, and then 3. No, sorry, it'd be 4. He can't scramble this plane. So he's going to have a scramble of 4. All right. So we got 2 coastal subs and 6 regular subs. So we're going to really lean into that wolf pack ability. All the subs will get a +1. So hopefully that works out. And then, so let's do all this, and then we'll do our non-combat. All right. So we got a new setup with the table on how we have everything positioned. So this way, now you can see both the dice tray and the board. Instead of previously I had to show you one or the other, which was slightly annoying. Now we can see everything all at once. All right. And you'll have to forgive me if a little rusty. Been a few months since, or not months, but it's been a little bit since we played. All right, so we got 5 dice at 2. Can you see? Yes. All right, 5 dice at 2. All right, so we got a 4, 5, 1, 7, 4. Can you see that? Yeah. All right. 1 hit. All right. The bomber at 4s. 8, 11. And then the fighter at 7. 8. Oh, man. That is not good. All right, so we got 4 return. 4, 6, 7, 9. So 1 each. Not too bad, I guess. Not that great, actually. 4 at 2. 5, 6, 3, 10. 2 at 4. 2, 7. Perfect. And then 1 at 7. 2. Perfect. 2 hits. Excellent. They return 3 at 4. 3, 2, 8. Oh, man. That's brutal. That's 2 hits. Oh. I think this is the first time I've run this where I've lost a mech in this particular battle. 2 at 2. Both hit. Missed. 2 at 4. 5, 12, and 1 at 7. Got our hit. Return. 6. Alright. Yeah, this is the worst showing that we've had with this particular battle. Alright, but moving on to Reams. And because we got 3 tacticals, all of our tanks get increased. Or the tactical to tank increase is 1 to 1. We have 3 tanks, 3 tacticals. So they all get increased. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, so we have 7 infantry. Good. All rolling at a 2. Alright, so we got 7, 7, 7, 4, 9, 10, 4. All missed. 3 at 3. 1 hit. 1, 3. Excellent. 10 and 7 were the other 2. 2 at 4 for the bomber. Oh! No. I completely messed this battle up. They're all supposed to be decreased. Alright, so I actually have no hits. Because they're supposed to roll out of 1. They're all way above a 1. This one that I scored a hit was a 3, but in fact they're rolling at 2s. So that was a miss. And that was a miss. Alright, so these are back at 4s. That's back, and these were all at 6s. Apologies, I forgot about that 4. Alright, so the tanks at 4. 1 and 11. Alright, now we got our 1 hit. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 at 6 for the planes and the medium tank. Alright, so 10, 10, 8, 5, 2, 6. 3 more hits, so we got 4 total. Alright. Now the French return with their artillery. 11 miss. 2 for the fort. And then 1, 2, 3, 6. And then 6 for the infantry. Alright, so this is out of 5 or less, so 11 miss, 7, 11, 6, that's all gone. 1, 5, 3, 4, so they got 4, and then they got 1 more dice at a 6. 10. Okay, so 4 each. the fort is now gone. The effects of the fort are also gone. All my planes go back up to 7s, and my tanks go back because of the increase. Alright, so everything's back to normal. So 3 out of 2. All my infantry missed. 3 out of 3 for the cavalry. 796. They all missed. The bomber. 2-4. Perfect. 2 hits. Can you guys see these numbers? Yeah. 2 out of 5. 2 more hits. 2 and a 4. So that's 4. That's all we need. Yes, that's all we need. All right, the French return. Infantry, artillery. 1 hit. And then their tank. 12. So we lose 1 more guy. Survived with 2 infantry. Things were looking pretty rough there in the first round. Thought that was going to go a lot worse. Alright, so we capture Reims. Alright, so now we're moving on to West Poland, and then we'll do Oslo last. And again, we have... So the artillery case is 1 infantry. The 2 tacticals will increase my tanks. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Maybe I could make a pitch for the setup in Western Poland. You know, probably make slightly more sense to remove 2 infantry and add 2 Polish cavalry. I think that would be great. But either way, here we are. So we got 4 mechs and 4 infantry. Alright, so 8 dice at 2. We got 11, 7. That's a 1, 5, 6, 1, and a 1. Oh my goodness. That is amazing. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 hits. Well, I certainly wasn't expecting that. That's all my luck. That's definitely all my luck. 2 at 3. 8, 12. For the planes and tanks. 2 tanks, 2 fighters, 2 tacticals. At 7. 4, 3, 9. Can you see all this? Yeah. Not really, eh? Is that better? Yeah. Alright, so 4, 9, 3, 5, 12, 8. So 3 more? Yes. Alright. They return. Alright, so the 5 infantry, 2 artillery. Uh, 12, 4, 8, 12, 7, 5, 8. So they got 1. Yes. Yes. Good. And then their fighter at 6. 4. So they got 2 hits. So we'll take away 2 infantry. And they got 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. So they survive with their fighter. 2 mechs. 2 infantry at 2s. 1, 5, 6, 3, 10, 8. We got our 1 hit that we needed. They return with 6, so we lose another guy. All right. All right. So they have 2 destroyers. Not cool. Not cool. So because they only have destroyers always return fire on the sneak attack. Being detected, not detected. In this example, doesn't matter. But if you want to get really technical, 4 of my subs are detected, 2 are not detected. But even if the ones that are not, even if they still hit, the destroyers still return fire. Okay. So subs at 3, 2 coastal subs at 3. 10 and 9, 2 destroyers at 4. 3, 9, so we got 1 hit. And then we got 4 subs at 5. 4, 1, 6, 8. And then the return fire. 2, 10, so we'll lose a coastal. Good to go. That is the C-Zone 17 battle. And this is our last battle for the first impulse. Alright, so the fort takes effect. The airborne are not part of that. So the battleship goes down, cruiser goes down, infantry goes down, artillery goes down, infantry goes back up because of the artillery. Alright, so 2 at 2. 4, 6. 3s. 1, 1, 6. We got our hit. And they get 3 back. So the blue dice will be the fort. The yellow will be the infantry. 3, 12, 7. So I lose an infantry. And this territory, Oslo, is gone. Alright, so now that we took out the capital of Norway, the Norwegian fleet is now up for grabs. So we have to roll a 6-sided dice for each ship. On a roll of, and this has been updated. Triple Crown even has a video on it, so go check that out. Basically, a 1 and a 2 now go German. 3 and a 4 are scuttled, and 5 and 6 will go British. So, and it has to go to the closest Allied port. Now, this is all happening C-Zone 7. So the closest UK port will be C-Zone 14. And the closest German port, there's actually 2, 18 or 16, because they're both 2 spaces away. And then it's up to me where I want to put them. But if they go UK, they have to go to 14. Okay? Alright, so let's do the coastal sub. So that's dead. The destroyer, 2, so that goes German. Excellent. And then the 2 coastal battleships. 4 and a 5. So one's dead. And the other one goes UK. Okay, so I just swapped them out. Gave the Germans a destroyer. And I put that in C-Zone 16. Okay, I guess for what we're actually doing, it's not going to matter really where we put it. It's going to go to the same target of 14 anyways, and they can both reach there. And then I put the coastal battleship with the British fleet in C-Zone 14. So they're slightly stronger now, which is not ideal. This is the sea battle that I forgot. And this is in 14. Off the coast of Liverpool and London. Now this is a battle where being detected, not detected, matter a lot. So he decided to scramble. I'm not bringing in any air cover, which is fine. I didn't really want him to scramble, but here we are. Now, because he only has one destroyer, he can only detect 2 subs. Subs cannot attack planes. So his 4 planes, no matter how this battle goes down, will survive. If I win, if I lose, doesn't matter. But his planes can only hit the subs that are detected. So he has 4 planes. So even if he rolls all ones, he lands 4 hits, he can only hit 2 subs. So the other 2 hits from the planes get wasted. And then all my subs, they all get first strike. The ones that are being detected are, obviously, I'm going to pick my coastals for that. So we have six subs. 6 subs out of 5 with first strike capability. And I was already talking to him, and he wants his destroyer to be hit last. All right, so we got 10, 9, 8, 6, 3 and a 4. Only 2. Oh, that's not good. That's not good at all. All right, so that'll be his battleship and his sub. Probably make the most sense. Now everything returns fire. So we got the destroyer. Miss. The plane will be the yellow, and the battleship cruiser will be the blue. 3. And then the 3 planes at 7. 4, 11, 10. So that's 1 more. So he has 2 hits total. And then, did I roll for these? I don't think I did. I don't know. I can't. Anyways, I lose 2. Continuing on. Now these 2 are the ones that are detected. So I get 4 and 6. So still got 6 at 5. 7, 7, 12, 9. 2 more hits. So that'd be these 2. He said he wants that last, and this has to be ultimately last. I can't take that until the very end. So he returns with a 4, got a 1, fighter, got a 3, and then the 3 up there. 1, 7, 9, yeah. Alright, so the planes can only hit these 2, and then the destroyer will hit this one. So I'm left with 3 subs at 5s. Man. Oh, man. They all missed. It's not going well at all. 1 hit. It's fighter. Nothing. And then 3 fighters. 1 more. Oh, man. Alright, well. Fail. We failed. So we're going to back out of this battle. Can I back out? He's got a destroyer. Yeah, it's quite unfortunate. This is the first time I've lost that battle. These planes. Combination of good rolling for him, slightly off for me. But it was definitely the right choice to scramble. And I think there was a little hum and hawing about doing it. But definitely he made the right choice, 100%. So that was good. So that's all the battles. Just give you an update of the map here. Pretty sure anything can retreat, so we have to retreat where we came from, which is here, here, here. So it doesn't really matter, I guess. We'll just put them right here. I know submerging is not an option, but retreating should still definitely be an option for us. Non-combat phase. Our destroyer down here is going to move up 2 spaces. The go-to move for this destroyer is to come down like C-Zone 57, 63, take out a transport or 2 destroyers transport if you're really lucky. I don't like that fight. I don't think you have good odds on it. But we're going to do something different. We're going to come up to here. And then for the rest of our non-combat, all of our planes went to Western Germany. So that's this card here. So we have an infantry, and they're going to activate Hungary for us. And everything, Czechoslovakia is going to move down 1. The 2 tanks in Stettin, they're going to come down 2. We have a train that's going to come down with 3 guys from Berlin. That's all in Austria. And then our last 3 guys, they are going to walk over 1 space into Western Germany. Okay, so this is now all in Western Germany. Our entire Air Force and these 3 guys, which came from Berlin, and we're gonna bring the other train into Western Germany as well, for no real reason, just because. All right, so that's the first impulse. Now everything refreshes. We put on our purchase. And then we immediately go back into our second impulse. Remember, we saved $1. Okay. So now our attacks in the second impulse. What are we going to do? All right, so the territories we have to go into now is Normandy, Denmark, Paris, Warsaw, Yugoslavia, and Narvik. All right, so it's going to be just as busy. All right, Normandy, we are going to bring in a mech artillery we just purchased. And they only have 1 guy. We're also going to bring in a tactical. Or, we'll just do a veteran fighter. Not really going to matter. They both attack at the same value. So that should be 1 round of combat, hopefully. Denmark. We're going to bring in our elite infantry, heavy artillery, and then 1 mech from Holland. That's going to go in the Denmark. Warsaw, everything that survived in the West Warsaw battle is now, or West Poland battle is now going to go into Warsaw, which is all the stuff here. So 2 infantry, mech, 4 artillery, and 2 tanks. And they got 3 guys. That should be enough, eh? You think that's enough? That's got to be enough. One, three. That's 9 units against their 3, and they have an AA gun. That drives me nuts. These AA guns, brutal. All right, we'll bring in 1 plane. We'll bring in a veteran fighter. Into Paris, they have an AA gun, a mech, infantry, artillery, a British infantry, tactical, and 2 fighters. Versus 4 medium tanks, 2 light tanks, 2 infantry, and 1 cavalry. We're going to keep these cavalry behind, and we'll see once we start rolling for French territories, we'll see why we want that second cavalry. And then up in Narvac, we're going to bring in all 3 units up in the Narvac, and we'll supply them with a fighter. No. That should be plenty. Oh, and in Paris, we're also going to bring in our 2 tank destroyers as well. And don't worry about Oslo. Like, normally you don't want to leave that blank, but we'll fix that in the non-combat phase. Over here, we're going to attack here, attack with this. And then C-Zone 14. He said he's not going to scramble. He's only got 1 plane to scramble. But he's got the addition of the coastal battleships, which is pretty decent. But basically, we're going to go in with everything from 17. That's all going to go up. Our entire Navy with the new destroyer that we picked up to go up against his Navy. So hopefully we have a better return than the last time. And support that, we're going to bring up 2 bombers, 5 tacticals. Yeah, that should be enough. Okay, and then Yugoslavia, what we're doing down here, we're going to bring in 3 veteran fighters, and then basically all this. So we'll end up with 8 infantry total. 3 fighters, like we already mentioned. 2 tanks. And the train and the mech staying behind. And Yugoslavia also has a destroyer, so we're going to have to roll for that once the conclusion of the battle. And we'll go from there. All right. Sorry, I know this is a long turn. I'm trying to do this as quick as possible without skipping things. Alright, so let's do Narvac. Should be quick and easy. Alright, so the airborne gets an increase. Alright, so the yellow will be the 4 and the 2 black will be 3. All miss. Standard. Return. An 8. Alright. So same thing. Yellow's a 4. Black are 3s. 2, 4, 6. Good. Return. Got a 1. Of course. Losing artillery. Yes. All right, so this is Normandy. Blacks are 3 and the yellows a 7. Get her hit with 1. Return. Get an 8. Excellent. Excellent. All right, this is Warsaw. All right, AA gun, 3. Man, that would have been brutal. 4 and 2. So this is a max in infantry at 2s. Oh, sorry. So 5 dice. Yes, 5 dice at 2. 2, 2, 8, 8, 9. 2 at 3. 6, 12. 2 at 6. 8, 10. And then 1 at 7. 11. Okay. Return. Infantry. Got 1 hit. And then the plane. 2 hits. So I lose 2 guys. And he loses 2. Alright. Fighter at 7. Oh, no. He loses the 8. So he still got the infantry. So that was the fighter. Miss. 2 tanks at 6. 9, 7. 2 at 3. 1, 6. And 3 at 2. So we got 1 hit. This is brutal. Return. That's the infantry, and then the fighter. I'm going to flip that around, because I called it after I rolled it. That's not really fair to my opponent. And then if I flip it around, it'll give him an extra hit. So we'll do that. Yeah. Okay. So 2 at 2. Nothing. 2 at 3. 7, 5. Nothing. 2 at 6. 2, 6. Return. 11. Alright. That was brutal. That wasn't a good battle at all. Alright, so this is Denmark. So the artillery is boosting the infantry. So 2 at 2. 1 at 2, sorry. Miss, and then 3 at 4. 3, 2, 7. Return. 4. Oh, man. Lose the back. And then, where are we going next? Yugoslavia. Yugoslavia. Then we'll do the naval, and then Paris we'll do last. Oh no. We lost a veteran fighter due to an AA gun. You can't replace them. That's nonsense. Oh. That's what you get for running risks. Unnecessarily risk, I guess. Alright, so infantry at 2. All miss. 3s, 2 dice at 3. Both miss. 2 at 6s. 2 hits. And then 2 at 7. 2 more hits. So we have 4 total. Alright, that's a little better. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the artillery. So they get 6 dice. 4, 1, 7, 8, 7, 5. So he gets 2. And then the fighter, miss. Alright, so I lose 1 guy. He loses an AA gun and 3 infantry. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 at 2. All miss. 2 dice at 3. 1 hit. 2 at 6. 1 more hit. And then 2 at 7. 1 more. 3 total. We need a 4. They return. Got 1 hit. 11, 12, 4. And then the fighter. 1 more. So I lose 2 guys. He loses 3. And 3 at 2. All miss. 2 at 3. 1 hit. Return. 1 more. All right. I just hope, so like, losing that veteran fighter, that was brutal. And that naval battle wasn't great either. I just hope, my choice, oh, I can't make it. Sorry, I had a coastal sub in there that is not able to make that journey, so I just put that back. When I grabbed the entire Navy, I picked it up by accident. All right. Quite interesting. All right, so bombers and destroyers all at 4. I guess I should do the subs first, actually. So these are the detected, not detected. So let's do 2 subs. The not detected. The not detected ones. Let's do them first. 9-7. So they both missed. Doesn't matter. All right, now back to regular combat. Destroyers and bombers. All right, 2, 4, 4, 5, 9, 2, 12. So miss, miss, miss. 4 hits. Excellent. The 2 subs that are detected at 5s. Both miss. The cruiser at 6. Hits. 5 tacticals. I think my mistake was on the land I should have used the tacticals. And I should use the veteran fighters here. That was my mistake. 5 tacticals at 7. 7, 3, 6, 10, 12. So 3 more. And then the battleship at 8. 5. 9 hit total. Alright, that's good. They return with 1, 2. Oh, you cunt. So he can only hit my planes, right? So I can't absorb weaker ships for that hit. Yeah, that's his destroyer. Coastal battleship and tactical. 3-5. Cruiser 11 and battleship at 8. 9. Okay. Alright, so I have to lose a tactical for this hit. And then 2 subs. So for him, 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6. 6. Yeah, so if we keep the plane and lose this, then these subs can get free kills without return fire. But the other way around, at least this nulls their ability. Alright. Oh, what am I doing? Man. Keep the kill subs. Yeah, I'm going to keep the 2 subs that got killed. I was thinking I can absorb them here, but then I'll make my battleship weak. Alright. And I got to worry about the counterattack, because I know that's coming. Alright. Alright, so no sneak attack. Bomber and destroyers. This is all at 4. 2 7s, 6, 3, 9, 10, 4. So 2 hits. Cruiser at 6. Miss. And then 4 tacticals. 1, 5, 2, and 12. So 3 more. And then the battleship at 8. 9. Okay. Alright, so I got 5 hits. 1, 2, 3, 4. We got them all. He returns. The transport. Destroyer. Wow. And then the cruiser battleship. So you got 3 hits total. Three hits total. Alright. What are we going to do with that? We'll take 1 hit on the battleship. This is a Bismarck, so the first hit doesn't do anything. The second hit, their stats get reduced, and the third hit, they get killed. So we'll take 1 hit on that. And then the 2 subs, I guess. And that'll leave me with 5 for the counterattack. Yeah. Alright, so the Bismarck got 1 point of damage. Alright, this is off the coast of Canada. Alright, so the 4 got a 2, excellent. And then my cruiser at 6. A 9. Okay. He returns with 1s, miss, and then his 4 got 5. Excellent. Alright. Finally, 1 battle going my way. Perfect. 4, 9, and the 6. Miss. His transports. Both miss. Sub. Cruiser. Wow. Transports. Everyone's missing. 4. Got a 2. 1 hit. 6. Got a 4. Hit both of them. They both return. With nothing. Fantastic. Alright, so the big battle, the one we all came for. Battle of Paris. No fighters. I don't have to worry about that. Darn a gun. Drives me mental. Alright, so infantry at 2. Both miss. Cavalry at 3. Miss. Light tanks at 4. Miss. Medium tanks at 6. 3, 6, 4, 8. 3 hits. Tank destroyers at 2 or 7. 1, 10. So we have 4 hits total. Excellent. Almost knocks out all their ground forces. They return with infantry, artillery. 12, 8, 9, 9. They're tactical at 5. 1 hit. And they're fighters. 12, 2. So we lose 2 guys. They lose their AA gun plus 3. Alright. Cavalry at 3. Miss. Light tanks at 4. 4, 7. Medium tanks at 6. 6, 3. 11, 5. So that's 4, 3 more, so 4 total. That's all of them. Mech. Tactical. That's 1. And then the fighters. Nothing. So we lose 1 more. We'll lose the cavalry. And that is all the battles. And we survive. Okay, so that's all the battles. This is what the map looks like now. So technically we're in the non-combat phase now. So the fighters that took place in Yugoslavia ran out of fuel. They had to land in Bavaria. The one that was in Warsaw landed in Stettin. And then all the planes from up here, they started here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So all the tacticals I have to go to Oslo. Obviously, the bombers have enough to get back. And then rest of the non-combat phase. Well, actually, no. First, we need to roll for all the French. Then we'll do the non-combat phase. And of course, by taking out Paris, that factory gets reduced to a medium, and the minor factory we had in Oslo gets completely destroyed. So that is that. So technically, these are still over here, I guess. And these planes are still here. This plane is still here. But this is where they're going to move in the non-combat phase. Now, if you're asking, why am I allowed to move land planes here? Because I captured this on Impulse 1. So between Impulse 1 and Impulse 2, they're treated like different turns. So any facilities that you capture, any factories, land territory that you capture on the first impulse, when you get to the second one, you treat it as if it's a whole brand new turn without purchase. So that's why we're allowed to land here. But I'm not allowed to land here because I just took that on this impulse. All right. Okay, so now we have to roll for the French territories. So let's get set up for that. So we're going to do all this in groupings. So we'll roll these 3 dice for the French territories still left in Europe. Down here, we'll roll all this together. So we got transparent red, red, black, white. And then same thing, these 4 territories. Madagascar and Syria will roll together. And then we got 4 territories over in the Pacific. But before we get into the French, we forgot to roll for the Yugoslavian destroyer, which is in C-Zone 40. So we'll do that now. The result of this is not going to change anything that I did up in Europe. So this is for the Yugoslavian destroyer. Same results. It's 1-2 German, 3-4 scuttled, 5-6 UK. 2. So that goes German. Excellent. Excellent. So that will end up to the closest port, or allied port. Germany don't have any port in the Mediterranean, and it has to stay in the Mediterranean. So it'll go to C-Zone 41 with the Italians. All right, so let's get into the French. So we're going to do Brador, Marseille, Corsica. So Brador is white, red. Marseille is black, and Corsica is white. Actually, let's do this way. So we can see better. All right, so we need red. Okay, so this is 1, 2, 3. We'll go Vichy. 4, 5, 6. We'll go Free French. So Vichy is obviously the Axis, and Vichy is Allied. Yes. Okay. So this is for these 3 territories first. Oh, that's dirty. Dirty, dirty, dirty. All right. So Corsica goes Axis. These 2 go Allied. Well then, I just lost $6. Okay. The reason why I say 6 because Brodor is tied into a $5 bonus that we're not able to get now. So the whole point of keeping that extra cavalry behind in Reims, if this goes Vichy, then you can bring in the cavalry and then activate that, right? Oh. So Corsica is now axes, but is not worth anything. All right, these 4 territories here on top of Africa, same die results: 1 to 3 axis, 4 to 6, not 1 to 3. Let's go. Oh. All right, so this goes axis. That's white. The transparent goes UK. This goes UK, and this goes UK. All right. So these 4 down here, now none of these are worth anything. All right, so that's that. That is that. Okay. So Syria is red, and Madagascar is black. Both 3. So they both go Vichy. Interesting. Interesting. Now over here, red, black, and then white, transparent, red. These are not worth anything, but they do have a factor into the game. Okay. All right. So Saigon is the black dice. French Indochina is the red dice. Oh, brutal. 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 Not good. So, the end results, those 2 islands over in C-Zone 103, they both went Vichy. And then both of these territories went Allied. So the end result is every territory that we cared about, that we wanted to align on our side, went UK. And every territory we don't actually care one way or the other turned Vichy. Fantastic. All right. All right, so now we're going to do the French Navy. So this Navy here, this is in the Mediterranean, C-Zone 37. So because Marseille stayed Allied, if these go Allied, they're going to stay there. If they go Vichy, then they're going to move to C-Zone 39, which is the closest Axis port. So it's just going to move over 1 next to Italy. And the sub in 38, if that goes Allied, it'll move. It can go to either 45 or 47. And my opponent will determine where it goes. The sub in 45 will stay where it is. So out of the French ships, the only sub that can potential move is this one here. The rest have to stay where they are because they're already connected to ports. All right, so let's do the subs. So the white dice is in C zone 45. The black dice is in C zone 38. All right, so UK, this goes UK, this goes German. So the one that's in 38, I'm going to message my opponent, and he'll tell me where it goes. That sub in 45, that went German, so that's going to go to 41. And my opponent will tell me where that other sub goes. He has a choice. Now these, doesn't matter where if they go allied, they stay the same. So let's do the transport. That is a 5, which is UK, so that stays. The 2 cruisers, 1 for 1. And the 2 destroyers. Oh man. So that goes UK as well. So all this will stay in that same C zone. So the British picked up a nice little fleet. I'm assuming that sub, he's going to want to move to 37 with the remainder of his fleet. It'll be kind of foolish to move to 45 on its own. It'll just get killed. So I'll move it there and then ask him what he wants to do. Now the rest of the ships, they're in the Atlantic in English Channel. Now the thing with this space, he has a port with London and I got a port in Normandy. So it doesn't matter how these roll, they're not going to move. Because the closest naval port for each Axis or Allied is in the same sea zone. So they're just going to stay. Alright, sub, that's a 3, so that's scuttled. Transport, that goes UK. Fuck. Battleship, that gets scuttled. The cruiser, that goes UK. And then the 2 destroyers, one's destroyed. That was German. Okay, so I believe that's it. We just got to do the rest of the non-combat phase. And then we're done. Alright, so planes all land here. Air transport is going to grab an infantry. And we're going to fly him up to Oslo. Okay, and then the transport in 17, they're going to go over to 20, offload him, and now we're going to activate Finland. So Finland is now activated. The cavalry that we didn't move, they're going to come back to Western Germany, as we don't really need them there anymore. This mech we didn't move, so we'll move him to Reims. The infantry in Hungary is going to come down and activate Romania. The mech in Austria is going to swing through Yugoslavia and activate Bulgaria. All right, that's it. We're going to collect income. Okay, so our income for the next turn, we actually got, for our land territories, we got 57. We stole 20 from the French, and then two $5 bonuses for 10. So that puts us at 87. So in economically, I would call this a failed turn. Simply because my benchmark for success is, just looking at economics, my benchmark for success is 90. Now, where we lost is in these two territories here. If we had a captured or Brodor win Vichy, then we would have brought in one of our units that we left behind in Reims and brought it down to Brodor. That would have gave us a +6. $5 for the bonus, 1 for the territory. This going allied also, that's $3 territory that we could have got. So that's, we potentially could have had $9 extra. We would have ended up with like 96 instead of the 87. So that would have put us in the win column for this turn. But for overall highs and lows, losing a veteran fighter is definitely a low because we can't replace them. But that was my mistake. I should have opted that out for tacticals, but it wouldn't really matter because in that air battle, if we brought all of our veteran fighters here, they still had that aircraft carrier that landed a hit. So I would have lost a veteran fighter regardless, unless I did a mix of veteran and tacticals and then veteran and tacticals. That way I could have avoided that. That was my mistake. So what are you going to do? Move on, I guess. But we did capture all the territories that we wanted to capture. We had one really big fail in C-Zone 23. Normally I would like to have that C-Zone completely cleared out, but he did a very smart thing of bringing in his fighters for the scramble. And that's what won him that sea battle. Up here, I'm probably convinced that this C-Zone will probably be eliminated. He has multiple ships that he can bring up. 1, 2, 3 ships plus his entire air force he can bring up. So he's probably going to wipe that out. And then Navy-wise, we will be left with sub and a cruiser in C-Zone 21, coastal sub in 17. And then the Finnish destroyer, which I can't move until we're at war with the Soviet Union, and 1 transport. Down in the Mediterranean, we did pick up a couple ships. The Yugoslavian destroyer went our side, and then with the French ships, we picked up a sub and a cruiser. The rest went allied. Very few actually got sunk. So this brings us back to Triple Crown's video where he introduced this change, and then some people, not a lot, some people voiced concern about that extra 16% going to the Germans, getting them extra Navy. Will that tilt the game a lot? And the example that he did in his game that he's playing right now, the Germans picked up quite a bit. In this example, they not really. In the Atlantic, we picked up 1 French destroyer. In the Mediterranean, we picked up a sub and a cruiser. The destroyer that we picked up here was from Norway, so those rules didn't get changed. So that wouldn't, you can't count that because that was the result of the die rolls every time, regardless. And down here, this destroyer, again, those rules didn't get changed. It was only the French. So we picked up 3. I think 3 got scuttled, and the rest went British. So you can, between his example and my example, you can see that it all evens out at the end anyways. Because he picked up 1, 2, 3. He picked up 7 ships, and the Germans only picked up 2 or 3. Sorry. So if that's going to, anyone saying that the Germans got that extra 16% is too much, well, I think we just proved that doesn't matter. All right, so that's it for the Germans. Mixed feelings about this turn. We've done this turn and ran these battles the same way multiple games, and there's pros and cons with this one. Overall, I would probably not rank it the best ran turn. Some mistakes on my end. Bad dice. Not getting Brodeur was definitely a big blow. Even if we just got Brodeur, we would have been in the plus 90 range. So then I would have been happy. But, oh well, we'll have to collect those territories on the next round. Okay, well, that is it for German's first turn. Definitely a lot to dissect. Moving on to Japanese first turn. All right, well, thank you for watching. Have yourself a great day.